Hello everyone and welcome back. Okay, so we have already done 4 units and now we'll start with 5th unit, which is the last unit of technical communication, and that is dynamics of oral communication and voice dynamics. So let's see what are the main points related to this particular unit. The first one is meaning of communication skills. Definitely we all know that what is communication skill, because in all the 4 units somewhere it is related to communication only. But do you know what actually communication means? Have you got that what why it is taken as a skill? See, I tell you, if you are talking to someone but the person is unable to understand it, that means what? He is actually not getting what you want to say. So that is also a kind of a skill. That means if you want to send a message and the message is received by the receiver in an exact manner, then it is said that the communication, you have a communication skills. Okay, so communication skills means when you are actually establishing a link between the receiver. Okay, that means the sender and the receivers are getting the message in a very appropriate form. Okay, that is called communication, and if it is done, then the skills are said to be very very good. Okay, so this is what communication skill means. As I have written here, that in this process is completed only when the sender and the receiver of the message are certain that the actual message conveyed by the sender and has reached its destination, that is the receiver. Okay, so that is what the appropriate message, if not sent, then it is not said that the communication is done or the communication is complete. Definitely not. Okay, so remember this thing, a good communication skills means when whatever you want to say, your message should reach the receiver in a very appropriate manner. Okay, now next comes to code and content of the communication. So what is code? We all know that code means some form of symbols, some form of letters, or it may be anything, but it should be arranged in such a manner that the person who reads that symbols or letters, they may understood what actually it means. Okay, so code can be anything. Like for example, if I say, if you work on a computer, the computer understands the binary language, and binary language, that means 0 and 1. So that means what? When you write anything, that particular word, that particular sentence, that particular number is actually converted into the binary code. Okay, that is why it is called code, because computer understands only binary code. But when computer answers that thing, it is sent back in your own language. That means maybe a number or an alphabet. So that is what the code means. That means it is actually a group of symbols that can be structured in a way that is meaningful to another person. Okay, meaningful to another person means the one who is actually reading that particular symbol messages, or that whole message. Yes, so that is what the code is. You can say, like in your words, if you know English or if you know Hindi, a complete sentence is actually what? It is the combination of different words like what? If you said Ram is a boy, so Ram is a boy. There are 4 words which actually form together. They come together to form a sentence, and the sentence is meaningful for us. Okay, but if there is some language which we are not aware of, then definitely all those things, it completely go out of just your mind, because you don't know what that particular language is all about. Suppose for example, if I say, do you know Kannada or do you know Malayalam? If you don't know these languages, you won't be able to understand. Okay, so that is what code means here. Next comes content. Now content is what? Content means it has both element and structure. For example, in a code we have said that it has some elements. Okay, and that element comes in a very meaningful manner, but in content it completes. That means both element and structures are there. So when more than one piece of an information is to be presented, that means more than a sentence is to be written there, they should have some order of structure. A complete paragraph when you are writing, then that comes under a content. When you give a single sentence, that comes as a code, and when you are just writing each and everything, then it goes as a content. Okay, so now next is stimulus and response. So first of all, what is stimulus is? uh, Stimulus is anything that a person can receive through one of his senses. That means what? It is anything that can produce a sensation. Stimulus means when suppose you are touching a very hot burner, or maybe something which is very hot, then that is called stimulus. Stimulus means you are actually getting something through the senses. You actually know that yes, this particular pot is very hot and don't touch it. Okay, that is what called stimulus. Now response is what? Response is anything that an individual does as a reaction to stimulus. Stimulus means, as I said, some if a pot is very hot and you touch it, you will come to know that yes, this pot is hot. But you know what the response is? Response is when you take your hands out from there. No, don't touch it. Yeah, a response comes from your mind that this spot is hot, so don't touch it. Okay, so that is what response is all about. So always remember, stimulus and response, they are connected to each other, so they both make a complete sense. Okay, and with the we can say that by joining these two, a complete learning process occurs. That is what stimulus and response is all about. So as you can see here, I have written the communication objective of the source is to bring about a change in the behavior of the receiver. We all do these things so that there may be some kind of behavior change in the receiver. Okay, so now next is encoding and decoding process. See, encoding and decoding process, we already dealt with this in the first unit only, when we have done this the communication process. Okay, so the complete communication process depends on encoding and decoding process. But again, let's see. And encoding means when a language is in a particular code, when you send your message to the receiver, that message is always sent in a particular code, so that is called encoding. Okay, remember this thing. And decoding means when the receiver receives your message, he decodes that, he wants to understand what actually you are saying, so that is called decoding process. Okay, this is all about encoding and decoding process. For to know or to understand the whole communication process or what is encoding and decoding, you can check my video of first unit. Thank you. Now the last I'm sorry, not the last, but for today I'm taking this as a last topic, which is pronunciation etiquette. Now what pronunciation etiquettes means? Etiquettes are somewhere related to you can say the moral values somewhere, but not exactly. Okay, etiquettes means how you behave in a proper manner, in a manner. That manner is called etiquette here. Now pronunciation etiquette means when you speak, when you pronounce something, when you say something, then you have to be in a certain manner. That should be in a certain manner. So let's see what the pronunciation etiquettes here are. First of all, make eye contact while speaking. Now this is very important. Always remember, when you make an eye contact and while speaking to someone, you know that gives a good sense, like for example, that shows that you are confident enough to say your message or to say something, that you are very much confident. Okay, so always remember, while speaking to someone, while talking to someone, try to make an eye contact. But as I said in my last few lectures also, that eye contact should be very smooth. Okay, it should not be converted into staring. Okay, so remember this thing, don't stare a person, you have to make a proper eye contact, and that eye contact should be very smooth in nature. Next is try to make your voice sound pleasing and soft. Yes, when you are communicating with someone, always remember, make your tones low, and it should be like the person should listen to you in a very proper manner. Don't just raise your tone in any way. Okay, always remember, even if you are not in a good mood, then also this is very important, that when you are communicating with someone, do not raise your voice at all. Don't speak in a monotonous voice. The third one is, you know what monotonous voice is? See, when we speak, this is also kind of art of speaking. Means when you have to raise your voice, when you have to lower your voice, that is very important. Monotonous voice means when you start speaking in a single tone, That means what? You are not aware of where to make a full stop, where to make a comma, and how to speak in a particular way. So that is called monotonous. Now अभी मैं आपको एक सिंपल से एग्जांपल देती हूँ. अगर मैं यहाँ पर आपको पढ़ाना शुरू करूँ एंड आई गो इन अ सिंगल टोन का मतलब क्या हुआ? अभी देखो, pronunciation etiquette: make your eye contact while speaking, try to make your voice sound pleasing and soft, do not speak in a monotonous voice, even if you feel nervous never show it to the audience, don't mumble, speak clearly. So this is monotonous voice. मतलब ना कहीं अप है ना कहीं डाउन है. एक बार आपने रीड करना शुरू किया एंड यू जस्ट कीप ऑन रीडिंग द whole paragraph in a single tone, you know, this sounds very not so good. Also it gives a bad impression, and moreover the thing is that people will not be interested in communicating with you. That is the most important thing. So remember this thing, don't do this. Okay, don't ever speak in a single, see, don't raise your tone, but yes, while speaking you have to sometimes, for few things you have to raise your tone, sometimes you have to lower your tone, and you have to learn this way of speaking. Okay, now next word is, even if you feel nervous never show it to the audience. I already discussed this thing, that you there are people who have a stage fear. So stage fear means they are somewhere, they get nervous. Okay, so even if you are nervous, just don't show that. Try to overcome your nervousness, and while you are going to a stage, while you are communicating with someone, don't just allow them to even get a single point that you are nervous. Okay, just don't allow them to get that thing. Okay, you have to behave in such a manner that yes, you are very confident about anything. Okay, don't mumble, speak clearly. Yeah, this is very important. Sometimes what happen, you say something and you start mumbling means there may be maybe because of slow tone, or maybe because your words get conflict with each other. एक होता है ना, आपस में लड़ रहे हैं तो आपके ना जो वर्ड्स होते हैं, दे डोंट कम इन अ वेरी क्लियर मैनर. Try not to do this. Speak very clearly whatever you want to say, because that clear speech also shows that you are confident enough in your words. Okay, so don't do this. Use words the meaning of which are absolutely clear to you. That means what? See, never try to use those words which you think that they are new to you, and just to beautify your speech or just to beautify your communication you are using that. No, don't do these things. Okay, you have to just use those words which you are aware of, and which you know that what is the meaning of that particular word is. Sometimes what happens, people use the word and assuming it, just by assuming it, that okay, I'm using this, and actually the meaning of this word is a particular something or something thing. Okay, so don't just assume that this word means this. No, maybe possible the meaning of that particular word is something else, and if you are not using in an appropriate place, then it completely, I mean, your communication completely goes wrong. Okay, so just don't do it. Use proper body language to show your interest in the ongoing conversation. That means, see, even if you are sitting in the meeting or somewhere else where a conversation is going on, you are communicating with others, the others are communicating with you. So at that time, if your body language will be in such a way that okay, Hannah, or just sitting like this, no, don't do this thing. Sitting like this means you are not interested in that particular communication and conversation, so the person will definitely come to know about this thing. Don't do all these things. Just show them that you are very much interested in the conversation. Your body language should be in such a way that yes, you are listening to them and you are interested in that particular thing. Okay, any kind of body language which may be like like this, okay, that completely shows that you are not interested. Okay, now next is, at the end of the conversation, don't forget the customary etiquettes of thanking the audience for listening to you patiently. That this is very important. So whenever you end your communication, whenever your conversation ends with this, with someone, thank them. Okay, make this as a habit, because this is a very good habit. When you say thanks to someone, they also feel good, है ना, and they definitely want to communicate with you even further also. Okay, so do this thing. All through the duration of a conversation, never do the followings. Now see, there are few points which you don't have to do. What you don't have to do, most important thing is, sometimes what happens when we try to speak in English, what we do, we first we first make a sentence, we first actually get a sentence in Hindi, we try to convert it into English. That means एक बार आपको कुछ बोलना है, पता चला आप उसको ट्रांसलेट कर रहे हो, ओके, मेंटली इट इज गोइंग ऑन एट द बैक ऑफ योर माइंड, इट इज गोइंग ऑन, एंड व्हेन यू ट्रांसलेट इट देन यू स्पीक इट. नाउ in between all this, lot of time gets consumed, okay, and the person also, the person with whom you are communicating, you are doing the conversation, they also understand that yes, something is going on in your mind, and this gives a very bad impression, because while you are translating the Hindi sentences into English, actually there is a time lag between them, and this completely spoils your speech. So if there is something like, if you want to communicate with a person, first of all try to be in your own language. Even if you don't know English, try to communicate in Hindi only, no problem, okay. And at some places, if it is so that you have to speak in English, then please be prepared in advance. As I said, practice, practice, practice. Practice is something which clears each and everything. So always remember, practice it in advance, but just don't go there, start translating your Hindi sentences into English and then start speaking those words. Please don't do this, because this spoils the whole speech. Okay, this is all for today. Next we will do in the next lecture. Thank you very much for having a patient listening.